Welcome to this edition of Paulding County Today. I'm Jody Martin, your host. But today we'll be joining a special guest, Chris Robinson, as he interviews the Clerk of Court, also called the Clerk of Superior Court, not to be confused with the county clerk. Her office is located inside the Justice Center of the Watson Government Complex. As you pass through security, you'll head straight through the double doors. Once through the double doors, turn left and go all the way to the end of the hall. Well, let's join Chris now as he interviews the Clerk of Courts.
Hello, I'm Chris Robinson. I'm here at the Paulding County Clerk of Courts office and I'd like to take a moment to thank Ms. Treva Shelton for spending time to tell us what the Clerk of Courts office does. Thank you, Treva.
Thank you, Chris. The Clerk of Court is an elected position. I'm one of 4 constitutional officers in Paulding County, along with the tax commissioner, probate judge, and sheriff. My job is I'm charged with being the custodian of the record, but a large part of what we do in the clerk's office is we're support system for the courts.
Can you tell us what a difference is between an elected official and constitutional officer?
A constitutional officer is set up by the Constitution of Georgia. Elected officials are legislatively mandated.
A question that I'm sure a lot of folks, or hope not a lot of folks ask, but where would someone file a divorce papers?
That is filed in the clerk's office. You have to bring your papers to be filed. We do not carry pro se packets. We do not carry papers for you to fill in the blank forms here in the office. If you don't know how to do that, you need to do some research or you need to hire an attorney.
Now the filing fee schedule, who sets those fees?
The legislature sets those fees. They're mandated to us by law.
Okay. And back on a divorce, how long will it become effective?
You can have a final decree in 31 days from the date you file the divorce if you have an agreement. If it has to go before the court, it generally takes longer than that.
Okay, kind of on that same note, if someone has a divorce and there's support payments, what does someone need to do if there's child support payments and things like that?
If the child support is not being paid, you mean?
Yes.
You can file a contempt action in a child support case free of charge. There's no charge for filing contempt action for child support nor alimony.
if someone has a court date, Can you tell them where and when their date?
Yes, they can call our office, call the clerk's office, and we'll be glad to give you your court date if there's one scheduled. You should receive a notice in the mail either from the opposing attorney or from the district attorney if that's applicable, but you can call us to see if you have a court date.
Do y'all handle all the court cases within the county?
We are a support team for the courts, and we handle all the files. All the filings are done here. We carry all the files to the courtroom, bring them back, make sure that everything that is filed is in the file for the judge to have at his hands when he's trying to make a decision.
Would that include magistrate courts?
No, I'm clerk of Superior Court only. There is a magistrate court has a clerk, and so does juvenile court.
If someone was filing probation fees or bonds, would that come through your office?
We do accept bond payments, not from individuals. Those bonds are transferred to us either from the sheriff's office or from probate court or the cities, the municipalities, if they've collected bonds. We hold those bonds until the case is disposed of, and if the judge says it's okay or the district attorney is through with the case, we can refund the bond.
Now, I know everybody thinks about jury duty, and to get a jury summons, what are some of the procedures if someone receives a jury summons?
We try to send out jury summons at least 30 days in advance. So if you do have an issue with coming to jury, then you have time to call us and try to be deferred or excused if it applies to you. There are several legitimate reasons that are also mandated by the state that we can excuse you from jury duty, and some of those are if you're over age 70 and do not wish to serve, you do not have to come. If you are primary caregiver of a child 6 and under, you do not need to come. You will have to fill out an affidavit. You will need to contact our office, and we can provide you with the affidavit that has to be filled out. If you're a primary caregiver of an elderly parent, if you are a full-time student, which we require to see a copy of your transcript or your schedule to be sure that you're a full-time student. Also, if you're full-time military, and if you are a homeschool teacher.
Speaking of juries, what different types of juries are there?
We have two types of jury summons. We summon jurors for traverse jury, which is simply a trial jury. You will actually hear evidence presented by both the defendant and the plaintiff or the state. And then we have grand jury, which the grand jury decides whether there's enough evidence in a case to actually present an indictment or an accusation. Trial jurors or traverse jurors we summon for 1 to 2 week terms, and grand jury you're summoned for a 6-month term. You come 1 day a month, which is generally the last Thursday in the month, and we do that for 6 months instead of having you come for a whole week at one time or 2 weeks at one time. That way it works out so that you're not away from your job as long.
question, what is a TPO?
A TPO is a temporary protective order that is issued in the case of domestic violence. If a person has been abused by their spouse or significant other, they can come to the court and request a TPO because they're fearful, for their life or for their children. And that goes before the judge, and he decides whether to issue the TPO.
Can you tell us how long a lien is good for?
A materialman's or labor lien is good for 1 year from the date it is filed. A judgment lien, although, is good for 7 years, and it can be renewed after those 7 years by what is called a nulla bona.
Okay. With this county growing and a lot of records and deeds and such getting recorded, where can we get a copy of a warranty deed for our property?
We have a public deed room that you can come to at any time, Monday through Friday, to get a copy of your deed. We have public terminals in there that if you don't know the book and page that you need to get the deed from, you can look it up. We have staff in the deed room to help you. Most people are not familiar with the deed room, and it's kind of overwhelming when you walk in there. But we're always here to help you, and you can get a copy of your warranty deed if you just want one page.
And also, if a plat's recorded, that would also be available?
Plats are also available in the public deed room.
If you wanted to make a change to the names on a deed or a plat, what would we need to do?
Well, once again, you would need to have that prepared when you come to the clerk's office. We are custodian of the record, and that's what we do, is record instruments in the office. We do not prepare documents for you. In Georgia, to have a correct warranty deed, quitclaim deed, you have to have an unofficial witness and a witness. And normally the witness would be your notary public signature. The deed has to be signed by the people who are the owners of the property, and that they would be known as grantors, and the person receiving the property would be known as the grantees.
Okay. I know there's a lot of homeowners associations out there, and would any kind of subdivision or covenants be recorded?
We do have covenants. We have indexes to those. You can come in if you need a copy of your covenant. You can look it in the index book under the name of your subdivision. And generally, covenants are originally recorded and then they're amended as the years go by. So you would probably have to get several copies when you come to get the newest edition.
There's a lot of notary publics out there, and how would someone come in to apply to be a notary?
The first step in becoming a notary public is you would need to go to the Clerk's Authority website, which you can find at www.gsccca.org. click on Notary Online, and follow the instructions. You still have to come into the clerk's office to be sworn for your commission.
If you apply for a notary in Paulding County, do you have to be a resident?
You do have to be a resident of Paulding County, and the first time you apply for a notary, you have to have 2 witnesses or endorsers, as they're called on the application, and they also have to be residents of Paulding.
And now some of us are trying to think what a notary does. Can you tell us really what a notary does or what they're responsible for?
The function of a notary public is to attest to your signature on any document that you may be signing. They are not attesting to the legality of that document or what's in the document, only to your signature, that they saw you sign it, that they saw some ID, and that's it.
And on documents in the place where it calls for a witness, that might not mean or would mean a notary.
Normally that would not mean a notary. Normally if a notary is required, it says notary public.
Today, folks travel. You need a passport to get into other places outside the United States. Can you apply for a passport?
Yes, we accept passport applications here in the office Tuesday through Friday, 8:30 to 4 o'clock. To apply for a passport, you need to come with your certified birth certificate or your naturalization papers. You have to bring 2 passport photos. You can get those at the local drugstores, and a copy of your driver's license. The difference in an adult passport and a child's passport is a child's passport is good for 5 years and an adult passport is good for 10 years. We do not accept debit or credit cards for passport applications. We will accept check or cash.
Well, Sharifa, thank you so much for taking time to explain what the functions of the Clerk of Court does here. And is there anything new that's coming in or that you can think of?
Well, every year when it seems like when the General Assembly meets, I get something new to do. So this year, the new thing is they have made the Clerk of Superior Court as overseer of the Board of Equalization. This will be a new function for me. I am familiar with the Board of Equalization because we have always advertised for members of the board, taken the appointment request to the grand jury, and I give the oaths to the appointed Board of Equalization members. Welcome to our public deed room. I'd like to give you a small tour of what's in this room. When you walk in, it is sort of overwhelming with all the books lined up on every wall that you can see. We have deed records in here back from 1860s, and up to current time. We did stop printing books about 4 years ago for lack of space. We do have everything on public terminals. We're glad to show you how to use those terminals. Index books are here for you to use to look up what book and page your deed is actually recorded in. If you need help, we're here to help you. Divorce records you will not find in this room. You can find those records on the case management system on the public terminals. We have images there from 2006 forward. If you need anything older than that, you can come to the clerk's office right next door, and we will be glad to pull that file for you and make any copies that you may need.
When you first come into the clerk's office and you sit at the desk, this is the screen you'll see, and you'll see the icon here that says Paulding County, Georgia. Double click on this icon and you'll come to the home page of the Clerk's Authority. And on this page you can check civils, which is the icon. You put in the username and the password. And you can check civil and criminal suits here. You can click on, for example, civil and put in the last name, the first name, and hit enter. And that'll pull up any cases that are filed under your name, and you can just click proceedings to see whether the case is open or closed, what actions have been taken on the case. And when you click here, you click on the magnifying glass and you can actually view and print the document in the civil case under icon. To search property taxes, if you want to know if property taxes have been paid or are still due on a property, you click on Paulding property taxes. Yes, I do accept, and you can go in and you can search by name, location description, property address, or if you have a PIN number, which is an R0 number, you can put it here, or by tax year, and you can click search and it'll pull up your property taxes. And then to do an actual property search to see what's recorded on a piece of property in the real estate indexes, and to get copies, you go to the GSCCCA website and you click state index searching. If you have a name, you come in and click name. You would set it to Paulding County because you're in Paulding County and that's where you're searching. And then you would put in your name. And this will tell you everything that comes up under the name that I put in. You can set for how many you want to see per page. And then you can click on the name that you were looking for, and that'll show you all the transactions under that person's name for your piece of property. And you can, the real estate searching index here goes all the way back to 1990. So if it's anything before or after 1990, you can search on the computer. You can click the entries, actually view the documents, and you can print from here to the printer. If it's prior to 1990, then you would have to go and search in the books. But anything after 1990, you can get here. If you've got a book and page, you can go in here, put your book and page. You can actually do subdivision searches. You can put in your subdivision, for example, Riverwalk, and it'll pull up your subdivision, and you just click here and say if you're lot 1, you can put lot 1 in here, and it'll pull up everything that it finds for lot 1 for the subdivision of Riverwalk. This also checks liens, so you can do a lien check. It goes from 2004 to current. Anything prior to 2004 you have to go and actually search the books for. So you can come here, put in your name, and it'll pull up anything that's in Paulding County under the name that you're searching for. And you can actually look at the lien in the index, and you can actually print off the lien also. you can view that document and print it off. There's the notary index, and you can also do plat index searching. So if you have a subdivision, do Bentwater. You can actually put your subdivision name in, and if there is a plat recorded for your subdivision, you can go in and find it. And also, this is from 2004 to current. Anything prior to 2004, you have to look in the index and actually pull your information from the index. That's it for real estate.
Is there any?
They're not on the state index searching is only for real estate, or you can get PT forms here, notary searches, UCCs. Criminal searches are done through Icon. You can click here to do criminal searches.
Well, thank you again for sharing.
Thank you, Chris.
What the Clerk of Court's office does. Terry, do you have any final thoughts?
I would just like to say how much I enjoy this position. I enjoy being the Clerk of Superior Court. I enjoy helping people. That's the biggest benefit, I think, of this job, is when someone comes in and they're distraught over whatever situation they may be in, and you can help them see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And we try our best to be as accommodating as we can be. Customer service is a big thing in this office, and we strive to be good servants to the people of Paulding County. Thank you.
I'd like to say a special thanks to Chris Robinson for walking us through the clerk's office. And I hope that this edition of Paulding County Today has made you more aware of what the clerk's office actually does. But for more information, please visit the county website at www.paulding.gov and look at the clerk's page. Or you can call 770-443-7527. Well, thanks again. I'm Jody Martin, and we'll see you next time.